is most important, has, as I long ago learned thanks to the treatise of a famous Catholic monk, Brother Foulon, a curly tail. Then I, being thoroughly convinced from experience that curls are never natural, but can be obtained only from various intentional manipulations, conclude, according to the sane logic of hieromancy formed in my consciousness from reading books, that Mr. Beelzebub also must possess a good share of vanity, and he will therefore find it extremely inconvenient not to help one who is going to advertise his name. It is not for nothing that our renowned and incomparable teacher, Mullah Nasruddin, frequently says, "Without greasing the palm, not only is it impossible to live anywhere tolerably, but even to breathe." And another also terrestrial sage, who has become such thanks to the crass stupidity of people, named Thiel Eulenspiegel, has expressed the same in the following words: "If you don't grease the wheels, the cart won't go." Knowing these and many other sayings of popular wisdom formed by centuries in the collective life of people, I have decided to grease the palm precisely of Mr. Beelzebub, who, as everyone understands, has possibilities and knowledge enough and to spare for everything. Enough, old fellow, all joking, even philosophical joking aside, you, it seems, thanks to all these deviations, have transgressed one of the chief principles elaborated in you and put in the basis of a system planned previously for introducing your dreams into life by means of such a new profession, which principle consists in this: always to remember and take into account the fact of the weakening of the functioning of the mentation of the contemporary reader, and not to fatigue him with the perception of numerous ideas over a short time. Moreover, when I asked one of the people always around me, who are eager to enter paradise without fail with their boots on, to read aloud straight through all that I have written in this introductory chapter, what is called my I, of course with the participation of all the definite data formed in my original psyche during my past years, which data gave me, among other things, understanding of the psyche of creatures of different type but similar to me, constated and cognized with certainty that in the entirety of every reader without exception there must inevitably, thanks to this first chapter alone, arise a something automatically engendering definite unfriendliness toward me personally. To tell the truth, it is not this which is now chiefly worrying me, but the fact that at the end of this reading I also constated that in the sum total of everything expounded in this chapter, the whole of my entirety, in which the aforesaid I plays a very small part, manifested itself quite contrary to one of the fundamental commandments of the all-common teacher whom I particularly esteem, Mullah Nasruddin, and which he formulated in the words, "Never poke your stick into a hornet's nest." The agitation which pervaded the whole system affecting my feelings, and which resulted from cognizing that in the reader there must necessarily arise an unfriendly feeling towards me, at once quieted down as soon as I remembered the ancient Russian proverb which states, "There is no offense which with time will not blow over." But the agitation which arose in my system from realizing my negligence in obeying the commandment of Mullah Nasruddin not only now seriously troubles me, but a very strange process which began in both of my recently discovered souls, and which assumed the form of an unusual itching immediately I understood this, began progressively to increase, until it now evokes and produces an almost intolerable pain in the region a little below the right half of my already, without this, over-exercised solar plexus. Wait. This process, it seems, is also ceasing. And in all the depths of my consciousness, and let us meanwhile say even beneath my subconsciousness, there already begins to arise everything requisite for the complete assurance that it will entirely cease. Because I've remembered another fragment of life wisdom, the thought of which led my mentation to the reflection that if I indeed acted against the advice of the highly esteemed Mullah Nasr ad-Din, I nevertheless acted without premeditation according to the principle of that extremely sympathetic, not so well known everywhere on earth, but never forgotten by all who have once met him, that precious jewel, Karapet of Tiflis. It cannot be helped. Now that this introductory chapter of mine has turned out to be so long, it will not matter if I lengthen it a little more to tell you also about this extremely sympathetic Karapet of Tiflis. First of all, I must state that 20 or 25 years ago, the Tiflis railway station had a steam whistle. It was blown every morning to wake the railway workers and station hands. And as the Tiflis station stood on a hill, this whistle was heard almost all over the town and woke up not only the railway workers, but the inhabitants of the town of Tiflis itself. The Tiflis local government, as I recall it, even entered into a correspondence with the railway authorities about the disturbance of the morning sleep of the peaceful citizens. To release the steam into the whistle every morning was the job of this same Karapet, who was employed in the station. So when he would come in the morning to the rope with which he released the steam for the whistle, he would, before taking hold of the rope and pulling it, wave his hand in all directions and solemnly, like a Mohammedan mullah from a minaret, loudly cry, "Your mother is a, your father is a, your grandfather is more than a. May your eyes, ears, nose, spleen, liver, corns," and so on. In short, he pronounced in various keys all the curses he knew, and not until he had done so would he pull the rope. When I heard about this Karapet and this practice of his, I visited him one evening after the day's work with a small burduk of Kakatanian wine. And after performing this indispensable local solemn toasting ritual, I asked him, of course in a suitable form and also according to the local complex of amenities established for mutual relationship, why he did this. Having emptied his glass at a draught, and having once sung the famous Gregorian song, "Little Did We Tipple," inevitably sung when drinking, he leisurely began to answer as follows. "As you drink wine not as people do today, that is to say, not merely for appearance, but in fact honestly, then this already shows me that you do not wish to know about this practice of mine out of curiosity, like our engineers and technicians, but really owing to your desire for knowledge. And therefore I wish, and even consider it my duty, sincerely to confess to you the exact reason of these inner, so to say, scrupulous considerations of mine which led me to this, and which little by little instilled in me such a habit." He then related the following. "Formerly, I used to work in this station at night, cleaning the steam boilers. But when this steam whistle was brought here, the station master, evidently considering my age and incapacity for heavy work I was doing, ordered me to occupy myself only with the releasing of the steam into